As new Chief Justice of the Federation takes oath of office, President Buhari urges the judiciary to restore the lost glory of Nigeria. And President-elect Donald Trump and President Obama hold talks at the White House to ensure smooth transition. Hello there and a warm welcome to NTA International News on this hour. My name is Justin Bemunyu and glad to have you join us. Nigeria will team up with other countries to strengthen maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea. President Muhammadu Buhari said this while receiving the Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Ambassador Florinta Adenike Okonga at State House, Abuja. He said the commission is of strategic importance as most of the crude oil stolen from Nigeria is taken through the Gulf of Guinea. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president said Nigeria will therefore meet all its obligations to the Gulf of Guinea Commission and also encourage other member countries to do same. Ambassador Okonga disclosed that the commission was established in 2001 to tackle piracy, unregulated fishing, drugs and human trafficking, environmental pollution, among others. The Gulf of Guinea Commission, with its headquarters in Luanda, Angola, also generates awareness among member states on the need to maintain security in their territorial waters. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the contribution of Pope Francis and the Holy See to global peace, describing it as active and relentless. Speaking while receiving Archbishop Augustine Kasuja, Apostolic Nuncio, in a farewell visit at the State House, Abuja, the president said the effort of the Pope for peace, especially in Syria, is inspiring and impressive. Archbishop Kasuja has told that what he called the courage of Nigerians, especially as exhibited by the bowed heads of people in the northeast, despite the devastation visited on them by years of insurgency. He added that they visited all parts of the country in his almost 7-year stay, saying he would love to be an ambassador of Nigeria wherever he goes. The Apostolic Nuncio said he found Nigeria fascinating and his tour of duty quite fulfilling and rewarding. President Muhammadu Buhari has challenged the nation's judiciary to remain in the forefront of his administration's efforts at securing the country, repositioning the economy, and eliminating waste and corruption for a better Nigeria. The president threw the challenges while swearing in Justice Walter Samuel Onogen as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria in line with the provisions of the nation's constitution. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The 65-year-old indigene of Cross River State, Justice Walter Samuel Onogen, a member of the body of benchers and live benchers, was appointed as Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in 2005. Before joining the Apex Court, Justice Onogen, who is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, served as a judge of the Cross River State High Court and Justice of the Court of Appeal. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated him for his appointment as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, was however quick to add that a lot is expected from him at these trying times in the nation's history.
Trying time in the sense of physical security, the problem of the economy, and corruption. And I wish the incoming Chief Justice a successful tour of bringing Nigeria back into line.
Justice Walter Onogen expressed appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the confidence reposed in him, which he promised will be justified through selfless service to the nation.
I assure you of the fullest cooperation of the third arm of government in the continuation of the war against corruption and misconduct in the judiciary, with the general ultimate aim of having a better judiciary befitting the nation of Nigeria.
He ensures that whatever he does it in accordance with the law. Very hardworking and corrupt-free. I am sure he is going to bring about a lot of changes in the judiciary and especially in the Supreme Court.
The acting Chief Justice of Nigeria succeeds Justice Mahmoud Muhammad, who retired from the bench at the age of 70.
The judiciary has a big role to play in all aspects of our lives in this country. We need the help of all Nigerians to fish out those corrupt elements within us so that they could be punished and then rid of, so that we live clean judiciary for the nation.
At the event, President Muhammadu Buhari poured encomiums on Justice Mahmoud Muhammad for doing his best while in service as Chief Justice of Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud Mohammed, has urged the nation's judiciary to remain committed to its constitutional duties, but also restore integrity in its courts through the implementation of its transparency and anti-corruption policy. He made the appeal at the special valedictory court session held to mark its retirement as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
I'm proud to be part of the Supreme Court, which refused to be cowed into truncating the electoral process. I'm proud to have headed this noble arm of government and steering it through some very stormy waters. I'm proud of the Nigerian judiciary.
Hearing him say this, one would think that he was talking about the current happenings in the judiciary. No, he was referring to what the judiciary did to stabilize the 2015 elections when an attempt was being made to exclude President Muhammadu Buhari from contesting the 2015 elections. Justice Mahmoud Mohammed said such is the responsibility of the judiciary to the Nigerian people and called on those he was leaving behind to engender greater confidence of the people in the third arm of government. Attorney General of the Federation described Justice Mahmoud Mohammed's service as distinguished yet humble.
Influenced the evolution of our judiciary and impacted our country in a very profound manner.
Justice Mohammed is chairman of the Federal Judicial Service Commission, has overseen the implementation of the new guidelines for the appointment of judicial officers.
Others said his exit should help galvanize respect for the rule of law in Nigeria. This may be trying times for the nation's judiciary, but the attendance at this function seems to acknowledge that the judiciary remains the stabilizing factor for the nation's polity. And for the exiting Chief Justice of Nigeria, his contribution to this arm of government is immensely recognized. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okewo.
And from the National Assembly comes a report that the House Committee on Science and Technology has expressed satisfaction with the way the National Space Research and Development Agency judiciously expended its 2016 appropriated funds in developing science and technological facilities, especially Nigeria's first education satellite 1. Chidimande Bisi reports that the committee members, while on oversight at the agency, learned that when the nano-satellite is launched in 2017, it will serve as atmospheric parameters for monitoring climate change and will also be useful in technology transfer for engineers and scientists. The chairman therefore recommended that more funds be released for the completion of pending projects.
The Space Incubation Center is being built so that the spin-offs from space activities will be made available there, and the private sector can pick up, commercialize, and sell to the general public.
Divine intervention and the genuine support of the people in the fight against corruption are important steps to check the menace in Nigeria. This was the view of the guest speaker of the 29th General Assembly of the Christian Council of Nigeria in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
The theme for the 29th General Assembly of the Christian Council of Nigeria, CCN, is the God of Life. Speaking on the topic, Role of the Church to Achieve Corrupt-Free Nation, the guest speaker, Professor Isaac Ayegboyin, said a society where corruption is condoned is detrimental to democratic values, pointing out that corruption has cut across all spheres of Nigerian economy. The guest speaker said this has affected Nigeria's foreign investment, and the church has a big role to play in tackling it.
We don't have many people who are doing things differently in Nigeria. I think that is the reason why we have this kind of problem that we are going through.
It is unfortunate that today the church is not playing her role the way the church should.
For Nigeria to advance spiritually, physically, and otherwise, Nigeria, as I always say, is a matter of must return to God. Talking about President Muhammadu Buhari's fight against corruption, it is believed to be the right step in the right direction, and anybody found culpable must not be spared, as this is a way that Nigeria can take a pride of place in the Committee of Nations.
Whoever is indicted should be brought to book.
Corruption is said to be endemic in the Nigerian system to the extent that some see it as the only way of getting things done, and this must change. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Science Day, a day when scientists demonstrate their latest researches, science shows and exhibitions based on themes and concepts. The World Science Day was conceived by the United Nations to strengthen public awareness on the role of science in providing solutions to human problems. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
The objective of World Science for Peace and Development is to promote national and international solidarity and shared science between countries and renewed commitment for the use of science for the benefit of societies. In Nigeria, the focus is on the younger generation of scientists who are being encouraged by the Minister of Science and Technology to strengthen their interest in science, mathematics, and innovation.
I cannot talk about diversification of the economy without encouraging the science, the study of science and technology.
The theme of this year's Science Day is celebrating science centers and museums as platforms for dialogue, understanding, and resilience.
We are now witnessing situations where from the primary school, secondary school, up to tertiary levels, people are appreciating science, are applying science, are using science in their day-to-day activities.
Students from different secondary schools exhibited their projects, which include waste management plant, renewable energy biogas plant, water purification project using Moringa oleifera seeds, and stabilized brick making. Scientists celebrate this year's Science Day in Nigeria with mixed feelings, drawing attention to the challenges of poor funding of scientific endeavor. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the foreign exchange constraints and the availability of arable land in Nigeria makes the case for improved local agricultural production in Nigeria an imperative rather than continued importation with its significant pressure on dwindling foreign earnings of the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo gave this explanation while receiving in his office a Russian delegation led by the Russian Minister of Agriculture, who is also the co-chair of the Nigeria-Russia Joint Commission, Mr. Alexander Kachev. While inviting Russian farmers to invest in the country, Vice President Osinbajo told the visitors that there are better opportunities for economic cooperation between both countries. The Russian Minister of Agriculture expressed his country's willingness to enhance the existing trade relations with Nigeria. He observed that the Nigeria-Russia trade volume as at the end of 2015 exceeded $300 million, but added that there are potentials for improvement in the years ahead. Federal government says the protection of the environment through mining and agriculture remains paramount in its diversification initiative. Minister of Environment Amina Mohammed says Nigeria will adhere strictly to the international biosafety regulations in GMO production. Musa Babaliu has the details.
Crop production and mining are the two major occupations that have direct bearing on the environment. They involve tilting of the soil, excavation and digging of holes, which if not properly checked may have negative impact on the environment. And now that Nigeria is expected to generate billions of dollars through mining and export of farm produce, Amina Mohammed said the environment will not be abused to meet the expectation.
The issue of conflict, one that we mustn't ignore, because without understanding the role of diversifying the economy and the role of environment, then those conflicts that we have between our farmers and herdsmen are not going to go away soon.
So the issue of biosafety is very, very key to food security, particularly when you now use biotechnology, modern biotechnology specifically, to diversify the economy, to enhance to ensure that the agricultural sector is strengthened.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ugwe, said the country is to export over 1 million metric tons of agricultural produce to West African countries before the end of next year.
Our new goal is to achieve self-sufficiency in food production and to export annually 10 million metric tons of grains and processed food to the ECOWAS region and beyond.
Records have shown that Nigeria remains the major supplier of grains to most countries in West Africa. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
APC National Chairman John Odige Oyegun says the performance of APC government at federal and state levels is enough evidence to ensure the party's victory in Ondo State. Chief Oyegun stated this at the APC rally in Akure.
They are here to let you know how important Ondo State is to the federal government. They are here to let you know how valuable Aketi is in the politics of this country. They are here to tell you that Ondo State has been a key player in this country.
I've answered the call of this party, and I'm sure with your support, we will be victorious this time around.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Please stay tuned for more stories after the break.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
You're welcome back. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udoma, says the federal government is committed to implementing both short and medium-term plans designed for the nation's economic recovery and sustainable growth. It was at a national economic retreat on development of medium-term national plan between 2017 and 2020. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Minister Udo Udoma explained that the 2016 budget provided clear economic vision and direction of the federal government, of which the strategic implementation plan includes adequate consultation with both public and private sector.
We'll also consult with the states. We'll consult with development partners. And we'll also consult with the National Assembly. At the end of it, we will now launch this document which puts together all the policies and programs of the government.
He assured that the federal government has the political will to implement in all economic ideas that will emanate from the retreat, having set in motion adequate machineries that will stimulate the business environment for an inclusive participation. For the participants, the retreat will involve new roadmap to overcoming the present economic recession and fast-track the nation to a more sustainable economic growth by the year 2020. In Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Oil market pairs gains following the International Energy Agency's report that the market risks a surplus. Let's join Ediago on Business segment for details.
Welcome to Business News.
The International Energy Agency, in its monthly market report, said the oil market risked running another surplus in 2017 without an output cut from Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The agency said global supply rose by 800,000 barrels per day in October to 97.8 million barrels per day due to record OPEC output and rising production from non-OPEC members such as Russia, Brazil, Canada, and Kazakhstan. The agency kept its demand growth forecast for 2016 at 1.2 million barrels per day and expect consumption to increase at the same pace next year. And the Nigerian equities market closed Thursday on a positive note as NSE All-Share Index appreciated by 0.18% to close at 26,221.75 basis points. Here is a summary of the closing figures. That wraps up the business segment. The rest of the news continues. I am Ede Ago.
As reactions continue to trail the election of Republican candidate Donald Trump as the 45th American president, guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have stressed the need for all to cooperate with the president-elect in order to achieve a better intergovernment relationship. The guests said this while discussing the topic prospects of Trump's presidency. Uyemi Ajayi has the details.
The election of Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States has attracted different reactions. These ranging from the congratulatory messages sent to the President-elect by world leaders to the protest by some Americans who are not happy with the emergence of Donald Trump as the next president. Discussing the prospects of Trump's presidency, some of the guests believe that Donald Trump cannot rule as the President of the United States in isolation as it needs other countries.
People should look up to Trump as somebody who triumphed for the goodness of America, and this should now translate in also for the best in global relations.
Talking about the challenges Trump is likely to face, especially the American foreign policy, as well as interest of Trump's presidency for Africa, other guests have this to say.
There are other issues, foreign policy issues also. South Korea, North Korea, nuclear weapons, Iran, and all that. These are all divisive issues within the American foreign policy establishment.
The one important thing Hillary said also in her concession speech is she would stand by him to make sure he becomes a great president. What that does is it's saying, Donald Trump, our eyes are on you.
The guests were unanimous in their views that though Hillary Clinton has become a woman to anticipate becoming the first female president of the United States, it is quite hopeful that America will one day have a female president. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And for reports from other parts of the globe, here is Musa Baba Aliu.
U.S. President Barack Obama hosted President-elect Donald Trump at the White House on Thursday to take the first public step in a transition of power after Trump was declared winner of the 2016 presidential election. Though the interaction between the outgoing and the incoming U.S. presidents was not made public, the two men are expected to put history behind them and talk on national interest. Reports say Trump spent Wednesday focusing on that transition